back block, and that's
the guy that rolls his body around.
Mike Drop Sports Steel City Live.
What is up, everybody? What happened? I told you what would happen. We all kind of knew what would happen, and boy, did it happen. I'm kind of just getting really sick of watching the NFL. It's very predictable. It's very, yeah, very easy to read. It seems as though we kind of knew this was going to happen. We knew the NFL was going to get what the NFL wanted, and it just amazes me how a team goes from scoring and doing really, really well to all of a sudden going back to the things that they did just prior when they were losing games to go back to their losing ways. It's kind of odd that you get paid millions and millions of dollars and you're too stupid to realize that you shouldn't go back to those things. It just makes no sense to me. I don't know. I can't rationalize it in my head how it's so predictable. It's so WWE-ish, and it's really bothering me. I said that on a pregame show, and I said that that was what's going to happen, and I stood behind that, and I told you the Steelers would lose today, and here we are. And many of you thought the same thing, but many others thought that they would win. So we're going to get to your comments. I get it. The Browns do have a good defense. I get it, but not that damn good. Not to hold you to 6 points. Not that damn good. Not in a must-win game. I get it. DK Metcalf being gone hurt. I get that. But you didn't try to do much. You never. The one time you did try to use the middle of the field, that was sending the ball down to Pat Freiermuth. It worked great at the end, and you didn't see that at any other point in the game. It just doesn't make any sense to me, guys. I still am trying to rationalize it and how this all works. But man, I think a lot of other people are starting to catch on to what I'm putting down here about the NFL being rigged. Good to see you guys. Tom Ford, even though I predicted the Browns to win, I was hoping I'd be wrong. Me too. I was hoping I'd be wrong too, but it really wasn't much to really argue that it wouldn't happen. The NFL wants that game in week 18. They've wanted that game for a long time. This is a division the Steelers have literally led the entire season, except for a small fraction, a 1% part of the season. They have led this division the whole time. And it's still coming down to week 18. Come on now. It's just the NFL can't get that lucky all the time. I'm just saying. You can't get that lucky all the time to where every game that you want to have happen happens. Especially when we're talking about playoff football. Yeah, you could schedule those games that you want to have happen, but man, the big meaningful games that they want to put together, they always manage to be put together, and it just is puzzling to me. And people may think I'm nuts. I've actually lost subscribers, a couple of subscribers, since I've been talking about this over the last couple days. But it is what it is. I got to tell the truth, and it is what it is. I can't bullshit no more. I'm starting to believe that this is that this team might be able to win a playoff game. Next week is a playoff game just to get into the playoffs. I don't like their chances. They're done, guys. That was it. That was the end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next week they'll lose, and the Ravens will have their storybook season. Lamar Jackson, you heard the bullshit came out about him over the week about how he meetings and all that stuff. It's almost set up for that. Patrick Mahomes not in the playoffs. The rise of Lamar. Like, come on, it's almost right there. And I get it. He's hurt. Whatever. He'll be back. Don't worry. I'm just saying. It's very, very predictable what's going to happen. And I do stand behind that. Whichever team comes out, which it will be the Baltimore Ravens next week, it's slam dunk. Slam dunk. The storybook season has been written. Man, they're going to sell a lot of downloads whenever America's game of the 2025, 2026 Baltimore Ravens. That they're going to sell a lot of downloads, man. They're going to get a lot of views. True. Well, they'll blame it on DK not being there, I blame it on a lot of things. I don't know, Tom. I couldn't give you a definitive answer. And I got to take the emotion out of it and try to dissect it a little bit for other shows. But man, is it getting tough. It's getting tough to do anything that surrounds the NFL. It's getting tough for me to watch the NFL. The penalties and how they dictate the game so much. We saw Alex Highsmith play a game today that was absolutely fabulous. Super good. Steelers, two turnovers, two interceptions, can't score nothing off of them. Chris Boswell can't all of a sudden kick it all inside of Cleveland when he goes there. Just all of a sudden can't kick. It just is crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy. Grant, thank you, man, for the super chat. Absolutely awesome here. As you said, NFL gets what the NFL wants. Game fixed as AF. I count four key plays the ref gave bogus calls / no calls, no TPI on the final 4th and 10, but at the same time, no DK, no Darnell, and having 2+ turnover ratio and scoring 6 points is unacceptable. Yeah, but you bring up a good point, guys. Grant brings up a good point here. That and correct me if I'm wrong here on how this all works in terms of pass interference. How does this work? Don't you have to play the ball? Don't you have to get your head around? I'm just curious because maybe I'm interpreting the rule wrong. Um, I don't get it. I saw a tremendous amount of calls that probably should have been called, but those calls weren't called. And I get it. It's the NFL. You could call holding on every down, but yet again, you didn't see much of that. Um, yeah, I think there was some definite swaying of the game in certain directions by the referees, and I think that happens every week. I say that all the time. I definitely do, but I'm not blaming this solely on the referees. I'm blaming this on a script that's written. That's what I truly am starting to believe, and I say that when the Steelers win too, guys. This isn't because they lost. I'm being a sore loser. No, I've been saying this stuff since when was this? When I started this crusade about the scripted bullshit. It was around it was around the first Cleveland game that the Steelers won. That was about the time that the Baltimore Ravens were really in a funk. And before they ever even started getting going a little bit again to where it got them to where they are now, I had mentioned that. I had started to mention that I thought that this was scripted and that this was, and I'll go back and find it in definitive time if I need to. But you guys that watch all the time, you know that I've been talking about this. And I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to get away from it, but um, it continues to rear its ugly head. I started talking about this again when they won a game against Cleveland, and I said, this is not going good. This is going to end up in week 18. The NFL gets what the NFL wants. That's been the theme I've talked about all season. And I know some will say I'm crazy, but uh, they get what they want. Now, maybe once they get their matchups, those games just get played out. I don't know. But boy, is it starting to really become a hard watch, guys. A very hard watch. Sorry, guys. I'm going to jump around the chat. This isn't going to be a long show. I have to get my son at 5 p.m. From work. So this isn't going to be a terribly long show. But I wanted to talk about some of you guys, or your comments, and we'll talk about moving forward. But everything rides into week 18 now. And again, people will think I'm crazy. And, and that's the norm. When people, don't want to believe something, that's fine. They're going to call you crazy. And I may be wrong. But man, is it really starting to be blatant. Ever since sports betting became a massive culture on your phones everywhere, to where you can constantly bet on the NFL, you can bet on the series, you can bet on everything with the NFL. Ever since that came in years ago, and they extended the schedule and all these things, the NFL has just become very vanilla, watered down to me in terms of how predictable it is. And how you can kind of just see the patterns and see how things are going to go. And then um, the way the betting and shit is, and the way the money lines are, and the way the point spreads are, and all that kind of stuff, all play into it for me. And it's just definitely crazy. He's probably right. Another wombat. Is he talking about the same things I'm talking about? Because it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts how a football team that was on a complete roll all of a sudden can't score a fucking point. All of a sudden can't move the ball. I mean, come on. Hey, well, what's up, man? I think MBS did what he needed to do. Yeah, there's some timing issues, but the guy ain't played a ton, but he's made some plays since he's come in. I don't think practice squad is where he needs to go. I think the Steelers need to figure out how to spread it around like they were. Again, I'm at a loss for words here, guys. Jason, you said it in week 6. It would go down to the last game. NFL rigged. Yeah, thank you, man. I knew I couldn't figure out exactly when it was. But I know I started this crusade some time ago that this was exactly the way that they wanted it to happen. And again, guys, 2 interceptions, a long 8-minute drive, nothing out of those, you know? And you can almost sense it from the players and their body language and how weird it was. And all of a sudden, the Steelers storm back down the field late in the game to have a chance to go down and tie it, storm back to keep you on the edge of your seat to the end. They storm back and get inside a first and goal situation and go 4 straight plays and can't do anything else. Come on. All of a sudden, they can't do anything. They tore your ass up the whole way down the field like that. Boom, 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 boom. You know? And then all of a sudden, you can't get nothing. Finally used the middle of the field during the final drive of the game just to throw into the edge again. The Steelers avoided the middle of the field today as if it was the plague. I'm so disgusted. Yeah, and in certain situations there late, some of those, yeah, you can't even go into the middle of the field because why? Time, and you want as many chances at the end zone as possible, and you don't want to waste another down. And I get all those things that go into it. I get that, but throughout the game, you got to use the middle of the field. You got to use all the parts of the field. Three same plays in a row is crazy. Yeah, and you can even see it with Aaron Rodgers today, guys. And I gotta say that he was fucking baffled at what they were doing in terms of going back to the same old that they were doing whenever before they went to Baltimore. It was like they just went right back to that, and that's sad. That's sad. Another super chat coming in. My Floyd is Pink 79. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nobody beats the Pittsburgh Steelers better than the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Tomlin special strikes yet again. Yeah, I don't get it. And a lot of us had the score being a lot higher, too. Thank you, my Floyd is Pink 79. And it is true. They beat themselves. Like, that team had no business beat. Let's go, guys. 3-win football team. Yeah, I get it. They got a good defense. Okay, great. They're a 3-win football team regardless. And no other team seemed to have trouble. The Steelers fucking slacked them in whatever week that was in October. They slacked them at home. All of a sudden, the Browns are that much better in week 17. Get the fuck out of here. You know? Get the fuck out of here. He is, man. What's up, Tyrone? Rogers was signaling Freemason signs to the refs. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, bro. Good to see you, man. James Bauman. I don't want to hear Austin and Metcalf were out. They are filled with veterans. The play calling was horrible. Yeah, they went back exactly to what they were doing before they went to Baltimore on December 7th. They went back to exactly what they were doing before that. And that was what? Nothing. That was running the football with stupid pitches and tosses, no misdirections, no real nothing like that, nothing schematically that would wow you at all. And then they started in Baltimore on December 7th, really ripping things off, putting things together, making some nice plays like they were doing against Miami, Baltimore, and the Detroit Lions, doing those things. And, you know, all of a sudden, you just forget all that when you go to Cleveland. Like, all of a sudden, going into the Cleveland fucking area code makes you an idiot. Well, yeah, it typically does. Um, and I told you this was their Super Bowl there, man. This was all they ever have to play for is to either spoil the Steelers or the Ravens season. That is all they ever have to play for. They have zero ever to play for. Yeah, they'll get a random fucking time to where they'll do something decent and then they'll blow that up and fuck it up. But a random time, here you go, boom. All of a sudden, in week 17, the Steelers go back to what they were doing in week 13. It makes no sense. If they lose to the Ratbirds, which I fully expect, at least they will pick a little earlier in the draft. Yeah, and that's one great thing, but you know what? It doesn't matter who you draft in a league that is absolutely scripted. It's going to be who is the next man they want to prop up. That'll become the next superstar. It almost doesn't matter where you're drafted. It doesn't matter any of that shit anymore. None of that matters. I feel like it's whoever the NFL is going to prop up into that next superstar, that next megastar role. Um, and that's what it'll do. I just don't think any of it matters. I really, really don't. And I hate to be this way. And I was telling Sean during the game, like I was texting him, I was like, I never thought I would think this way about the sport and the game that I love the most to watch, that means the most to me in terms of sports. And I never thought I'd feel this way. And I feel this way. And I feel it to the core of my soul to where I don't think I'm wrong. Steelers don't get favorable calls, don't know what games you watch. I don't know what you guys are talking about. AWOL says it had to be scripted at the end of the game. You threw it to MVS 3 times in a row. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no creativity. It wasn't a race against the clock at that time. The clock was stopped. You know, um, what are you spending all that time in the huddle for? Fucking almost coming down to the final seconds and then getting up to the line of scrimmage to run the same exact fucking thing. It doesn't make any sense. Hilarious script. I'm sick of the NFL. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, and I think a lot of people are catching on, man. A lot of you guys are saying the same thing. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I feel like I am. Absolutely. Great call on 4th and 1 in the first half. Trash. Scotty Miller. LOL. Get the fuck out of here. I've been a fan since the 70s. I played the game and coached football for 30 years. Gainwell should have played wide receiver. They should have utilized him a little bit more, and they did spread him out some. But I don't get it either, Harley. I don't get it at all. Don't get it. What's up, man? Yeah, Tomlin definitely. I don't know how you could go up to the podium as Mike Tomlin with a straight face and be able to tell the lies that you tell. Um, he knew they were losing this game before it ever started. He's in on it. Man, it's crazy, man. Robert says that's why we need a mobile quarterback. I mean, mobility don't ever hurt, no doubt about it. What you need is a quarterback that can do everything, and those are hard to find. And you know that's why you don't see a lot of these quarterbacks in the league make it for years and years and years, man. Sorry, guys, hold on. I was just checking the time there. Yeah, it seems crazy. So we move into week 18 here. What's at stake for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is just that. Everything. Everything is at stake in week 18 for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The whole season. And again, a season that you have led 1,000% of the time, basically, except for a small fraction. So 999% of the time, you've led this division here in 2025, and now you find yourself in a spot to where you have a must-win game at home on a team that's coming off a 5 touchdown or 4 touchdown performance from Derrick Henry in prime time. In Green Bay, a team that beat you, that I know was minus Jordan Love, but still, um, they dismembered that team. And now you look at, can the Steelers get it back together? You're going to be absent Darnell Washington. That seems to strike a lot of fear in Mike Tomlin because it doesn't seem like they can do the same things. Um, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I see a lot of you guys with the scripted, man. I mean, it is what it is. I think you're right. I think I'm on the same boat. I'd be trying to warn y'all. What do you? Yeah, I've been saying it for a long time, since week about 5 or 6, man. I've been saying that this script was going to play out, and I told you. I believe every single player, yeah, is on. Yeah, and it's hard. I get it to get all these people involved in scripting things. But man, you look at. you look at some of the players and their body language today, it was almost like they come out there and they knew that this was going to be a game that they had to go out there and look like fools. And that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. If you're a professional athlete and you play at a high level, that's embarrassing to go out there and have to do some of this stuff sometimes for the sake of ratings and for the sake of money. And I understand, they're all about making money. That's what they're there for. But man, come on. They fix 3 games a week. Oh, I would not say that you're wrong. I wouldn't say that to be untrue. I would say that definitely is a good possibility. I'm not saying every game's fixed, no. And I think that would probably be something pretty accurate. 3 games a week are fixed, and that gets you where you want to be. That gets you to the things that you need to get to in terms of games that will bring in high ratings. Like the Ravens have fucking sucked all year, dude. They're not a good football team, but yet here they are. You know, come on now. I said the NFL was scripted when I first joined Mike Drop Sports, and I remember you said that you can't believe that. Yeah, I never thought that I would, Tom. I never thought that I would. I never thought that I would. Never. I never thought that I would get to this point ever. You move the ball down the field so easily and throw 3 straight passes to MVS for what? Yeah, with nothing. Like no underneath to try to like pound it in there. Nothing, man. What's up, Kevin? Mark, I believe it's time that Congress and the Justice Department do an investigation in the NFL fixing games. Yeah, and I think they would be pretty crazy or pretty dumbfounded to see exactly what they find. Actually, no one's going to be surprised. This is the biggest business in the country. It's the National Football League, guys, and they're not going to do anything to fuck that up. Yeah, it is WWE. Absolutely. It does say that on their tickets. This is merely sports entertainment and shouldn't be bet on. I agree. Yeah. They tell you. They got the disclaimer because one day when they get caught, which they will, like the NBA, referees have gotten caught, players have gotten caught, baseball, you've had people get caught. Um, Football, when people get caught, they got to put those disclaimers out there too because they know what'll happen. Somebody will get tripped up. No, absolutely not, Loud Harley. They had to have this because the NFC is basically buttoned up. Every other position in terms of playoff seeding for the AFC is buttoned up. There's nothing else that can be played for. So they would have had a bunch of meaningless games that brought in 0 ratings for Week 18. They had to have it. Um, they had to have this. They had no choice but to have Week 18 mean so much. And sadly, it's at the expense of the fan base that spends all the money. Crazy, man. 6 of 9 wins this season have been against teams with 4 wins or less. Tomlin is a bad coach and has been since he got hired. He plays in a weak division, plain and simple. I think the AFC North actually, when you talk about strength of divisions, normally besides 2025, it's usually only got one shitty team in it, and that's the Browns. Everybody else seems to do okay and do all right. So, it's not a bad division. This year's a bad division for sure. Um, but, it is what it is. I still stand behind whichever AFC North team, which it'll be the Ravens, guys, they win the Super Bowl this year. And why? Not because they're a better football team than anybody else. No. You got to look at the storylines. Which storylines mean the most in terms of ratings? Which storylines mean the most in terms of how you're going to make money? The Steelers say they come out of the AFC North in the 4 seed. Say they're the ones to get it done. And the NFL blesses them. They'll win the Super Bowl. It's one of the 2 teams that come out of the AFC North will win the Super Bowl. And I say that why? Because the storylines and the headlines and the money making machine that it will. And I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl. They'll make it to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. And then I don't think the Super Bowl's fixed. I think that's just played. But we'll see. Hey, maybe I'm not wrong. Yeah, hardball ain't nothing either. I'm just saying the storyline of the Baltimore Ravens going on that losing streak to where they were like 1-5. Massive storyline. Lamar Jackson's never won a big game, never in college, nothing. Never has won a big game in his life. All of a sudden, we'll get it done. He'll be the greatest. Blah blah blah. That's a storyline. Aaron Rodgers, last game, week 18, had to beat the Baltimore Ravens at Acrisure Stadium to just make the playoffs and get that fourth seed. In his final season ever, he guides the Pittsburgh Steelers to a Super Bowl championship or guides them to play in the Super Bowl. Tremendous week after week ratings for them. From now until the end of February, the NFL will be on everybody's mind. That's what it'll be. Yeah, maybe Daniel. Somebody is. Somebody is. Anyone expected anything else is not a Steelers fan. This has been Tomlin's MO since he has been their coach. They will lose in week 18 also. Don't sit there and blame it on being scripted. I'm just saying, I'm not blaming it on one thing particular. I'm just saying it's pretty fucking obvious. Again, I told you this in week 6, and Snowman, you might not have watched the channel, so I'm not going to say that I told you so because I don't know if you've ever watched it before. But it's pretty damn obvious. I've said this over and over, even when the Steelers win. I've said this, and I've tried to go away from it, but I can't and I can't. And I hate this whole show's about it. But guys, it is so bad. Oh yeah, they're gonna run the shit out of him. That's what they're gonna try to do. The Baltimore Ravens are gonna come into Pittsburgh and try to run the fucking shit out of the football, deflate it because they know DK Metcalf's out there who torched them last time, who beat them up pretty good. They know damn well they don't want that to happen, so they're just gonna try to keep that Steelers defense on the field. They're gonna run the shit out of Derrick Henry. They're gonna try to win this game 6-0. That's what they're gonna try to do. Yeah, I think all sports are listed as that. All right, guys, I'm going to be getting out of here. I mean, it's scripted. You could say Ravens for life, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. I mean, it's scripted. I wouldn't feel great about winning it. Even if the Steelers win, I wouldn't feel great because I don't feel like it's right. I feel like there's some sort of fix in here. The Baltimore Ravens have been a terrible football team this year. Terrible. So have the Steelers. The Steelers at least have some signature wins, though. I'll give them that. But if you look at the overall product of both teams, they both are fucking horrible. They've both been bad this whole season. And the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, have been horrible. They have a quarterback that they pay a tremendous amount of money to, can't stay healthy, that's never won anything in his life. Never, ever, 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 ever. He's never even won the KY Jelly Bowl or the Huggies Diaper Bowl, nothing. The guy's never won anything. What better story than all of a sudden who just had a story about him that he can't come to meetings, he can't stay awake in meetings, he can't practice, he doesn't do any type of training, that he is not good schematically. Like that story just came out from a Ravens beat writer. So I know Ravens fans will lose their fucking mind about it. But I did a story about Lamar Jackson a short years ago, and I told you that he's never won anything. That when they paid him all that money, it was very foolish because it's a guy that's never won anything. Well, unless the fix is in, maybe then he can win something. I don't know. San Francisco versus Seattle for the top seed in the NFC if San Francisco beats the Bears tonight. Well, there you go. That'll be their NFC game that matters. And then the AFC game that matters is Steelers Ravens. What do you mean? Lamar hasn't won anything. What how is that hate? I want to know that from Baltimore fans. How is it hate when you're just telling the truth? Name one fucking big game that Lamar Jackson's ever won. Name one big game. One. Something that has mattered. Name one that he has ever won. I'll even let you go back to fucking high school. Name one, Baltimore fans, if you're so confident in this that it's shit talking. It's not shit talking, it's truth talking. I said it about the Steelers too. Ravens fans are just all ecstatic all of a sudden. It's like, dude, your team has been dog shit just the same as the Steelers. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to go get my kid, but we're going to talk about this throughout the week and talk about this. And I got to get a little bit clearer head before I continue to roll on. So we're going to talk about this. We'll talk about this Week 18 matchup coming up and what this means for the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens. And I still stand behind whoever wins the AFC North will win the Super Bowl, or get to the Super Bowl rather, and be the representative of the AFC conference. You watch and see. All right, guys. See you next time.
Power takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a field back block, and that's
The guy that rolls his body
Mic Drop Sports. Steel City Live.